Hello everyone, today I'll be making Julia Child's famous souffle. The reason I decided to make this souffle recipe is because I made it in a Julia Child's birthday cooking class at Sur La Table last year, and I really enjoyed making it and it was a lot of fun, and it also tasted really good, so I decided I'm going to show you guys how to make it today, so let's go ahead and get started. For the first part of our souffle, we're going to need 3 tablespoons of sifted all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup of milk, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, and 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to start by adding our flour to a saucepan that is on moderately high heat, and we're going to add in some of our milk, and we're just going to go ahead and whisk this in, some of it, until it's combined thoroughly. I think that might be enough, so we're just going to whisk this up. And you know what, I actually probably need a little bit more because we're on moderately high heat and we don't want it to burn. So we're just going to whisk this until it's all combined. And you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the rest of our milk. And then I'm just going to go ahead and whisk this in. As you can see, it is a little clumpy, but the lumps will come out as we add our other ingredients. So now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to add our sugar. And then we're going to cook this until it starts to boil, and then we're going to boil it for 30 seconds. Now that it's boiling, we're going to go ahead and let this boil for 30 seconds. Now we're going to take this off the heat, and we're going to continue to mix it for around 2 minutes. Now we're going to whisk in 4 egg yolks one at a time. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to whisk in 1 tablespoon of butter, which is half of the 2 tablespoons they told us in the recipe, and we're just going to whisk this in. It's going to take a little bit of time though, because as you can see, our mixture has cooled down quite a bit. Now we're going to put little pieces of butter on top of our mixture to prevent it from forming a skin. Now we're going to whisk 5 egg whites and a pinch of salt together until soft peaks form. Now that soft peaks are forming, as you see, when I pull my whisk up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sprinkle in a tablespoon of sugar because we don't want to defluff it. You know what, I'm just going to kind of use my hands here, so we sprinkle it all around, and then we're going to continue to whisk this until stiff peaks form. I have been whisking this for a while, and as you can see when I pull my whisk up, you can see stiff peaks forming. Look, they're very, very stiff. They're not super big, but they're little peaks, and they're very, very tall and very, very stiff, just like that one. We are back at our sauce mixture again, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of vanilla, and we're just going to go ahead and whisk this in along with the butter that was on top to prevent a skin from forming. And we're just going to whisk this until it's thoroughly combined. And now we're just stirring 1/4 of our egg white mixture into our sauce mixture. And yes, you don't want to fold it surprisingly, and you're just going to go ahead and you're going to want to mix this in very thoroughly. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to scoop the rest of the egg white mixture out, and you're just going to gently and very delicately fold it in. Now we're going to go ahead and transfer it to a 6-cup dish, and our dish is covered in sugar and butter, and that'll prevent it from sticking. And we're just going to go ahead and put this folded mixture. I am a little worried about it because it isn't super fluffy. As you can see, there is a bit of a gap, but that is what you want because our souffle is going to rise in the oven as it bakes. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put our souffle in a 400-degree oven. And the thing is, as soon as I close this up, we're going to turn it down to 375, which I find to be very interesting. So we're just going to go ahead and close this up, and we're going to go ahead and turn it to 375. So I'm going to have to restart this for a second, but 375. And now it's at 375, and we're just going to let it bake for 20 minutes, and then we're going to sprinkle it with powdered sugar. Now that it's been 20 minutes, we're going to go ahead and take it out. And as you can see, it has risen some, not as much as I hoped, but my hope is that it'll still continue to rise some after we put some powdered sugar. As you can see, it's very fluffy and very sugary. but we're just gonna go ahead and close up our oven, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dust it with powdered sugar. We're gonna go ahead and put it back into our oven, and we're gonna bake it for around another 12 minutes or so. Alright, our time's up, so let's go ahead and check on our souffle now. I'm curious to see how it's gonna be. Alright, as you guys can see, it did, thankfully, fluff up a little bit more. I was kind of hoping that it would rise up and over the sides, but it didn't. It just kind of went to almost fill it up, and it looks alright. As you can see, it's nicely browned, but the true test to check it is we're just gonna use this nice, long, metal skewer, and we're gonna go ahead and insert it in the side, and we're just gonna see if it comes out clean. And good news, it came out clean, so our souffle is done. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a taste. Alright, you know, I really enjoyed that. It was a little bit on the denser side. It wasn't quite as fluffy when I made it at the cooking class. It was almost like a dense souffle. It had really good flavor though, and I really enjoyed it. I have to give it around 8.5 out of 10. Normally, if it turned out as it was supposed to, I would give it a 10 out of 10, but still, nonetheless, it was pretty delicious. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did, to hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.